Hi, everybody. Okay, I think we're trying this again. Let's see. Peter. There he is. Almost. I just sent him a request. Hello. Hi.
All right.
Here we are.
Hey,
I was like, this is not
sorry.
going to be another stint where the live doesn't work.
No,
Um,
I'm not.
it
Make this work and it's gonna be good.
would have been so embarrassing. How are you?
I'm doing great. That was my
Uh,
bad. I was like, when is Bella gonna get on?
oh my gosh, so irresponsible. Late. God.
That's
Um,
bad.
Okay, I want to introduce you to everybody, but I just want to say hi to all of our friends who are here. Thank you for joining. If you are new to my Almost Normal Productions account, this is an account that I'm co-running as it's a production company that I co-run with two wonderful women, Elizabeth and Catherine. And our content, aside from films, focuses on how we as artists, but also how the characters in our films deal with everyday human struggles, right? So today I've brought on a wonderful human who is also my fellow artist, Peter Adrian Sudarso, to chat about some revealing topics that we cover here at Almost Normal. And yeah, just things that I feel like performers like you and me, Peter, but also all these people that we're talking to right now can be dealing with. So Peter,
Thank you as well, by the way. For anybody who's in the chat, and thank you, Bella, for having me and my
absolutely.
audience here. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you guys are all here. Peter, I know you there was a couple of things that kind of stood out to you when we talked before about topics that we could discuss. And I'm going to just jump in because I'm excited to hear your perspective on it. So, one of the things that we talked about was that you've been in the spotlight. And I want to know what you can say about how you've experienced yourself in that. Have you always felt worthy, or is it something that you maybe struggled with?
Um, that's I picked this question because I personally I love it. I think that being worthy of something is a topic that a lot of people struggle with nowadays because of social media and all that stuff. Not just
Hmm.
being put in the spotlight, but I feel that nowadays everyone is under the spotlight with social media and the way that everything is. And one of the biggest thing for me that I felt about this whole spotlight effect is that it's given me an opportunity to actually rise up. And it's been God, it's been a blessing in ways that I would have never expected it to be. Because these the moment that I got in this position, they were really supportive of me. You know, from the get-go, they expected me to be the best person that I could be. And at first I didn't know how to deal with that. I mean, I'm not sure how it was for you, especially being the young Supergirl. I'm sure I'm sure there were expectations, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely a sense of am I Supergirl? Really?
Do I worthy of that? And
Uh-huh.
I guess, well, I don't know about you, but for me personally, I think something like that is actually such a blessing. It's
Hmm.
something that's so cool because like when people meet you in real life, they start to project that same expectation, which can be a little bit heavy at first,
Yeah,
especially being human beings like we are. You're not actually Cara Danvers. I'm not actually Kenny Lee. You know, we're not actually these
unfortunately.
yeah, unfortunately.
Right?
Only.
So cool.
But like I feel like we're normal human beings, but people kind of expect us to become a little bit more like these perfect versions of us that they
Hmm.
and to me that was actually a really big blessing because I've never actually had people. I know this is gonna sound semi-depressing, but I've never really had people expect a lot out of me. Um,
Okay.
I I grew up in school not doing the best. I never did my homework, all that kind of stuff. So people
Hmm.
just kind of expected me to go out of college, high school, and just be well me, you know. And the I started doing
What do
that.
you mean, be well, you? You're
Well, I went
fabulous.
I don't believe that I was always this dutiful and hardworking and deserving of this credit. I do not believe that I used to be this deserving of credit.
That's so funny that you say that. I mean, everybody, I guess everybody just goes through phases and evolves, but I can't picture that because you're such a doer, you're such a go-getter. Like you're like a Renaissance man. For everybody who like doesn't know Peter, like I met him on set and just meeting a fellow actor and we're talking and then Peter's like, "Yeah, I dance." And then the next day he's like, "Yeah, I kind of sing too." And then the next day he's like, "Yeah, I mean, I used to be like a journalist." I'm like, "What?" Like, you just have so many different like interests and passions. Like, I
Well,
think you're fascinating.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I actually want to. You just proved my point. But when you were actually one of the first, you were actually the first girl. You were the first girl to have ever complimented my singing voice. Like,
Really?
period. I'm being so serious, dude. And here's a
Oh.
I want to like bring up is like that just goes to show it's like when people have that positive view of you, you can step in to be that positive version of you. And it's like I've always wanted to sing all of my life.
Which
All
you
of my
should, by the way.
Thank you. But I've told you a little bit about my story about that, and it's like I've never really had people supporting me with my
Hmm.
singing. Not their fault. I wasn't the best singer. So it's like you can't fake it. But at on set when you said that, you oh my gosh, you actually like you took me off guard because when you said that I was like, "Oh my gosh. This girl sounds like
Oh.
if she actually no, you know what I mean?" And it's like that's is like, it allows you to be better than what you actually were, you know? So to go back to your question,
Mhm.
this spotlight has really blessed. I haven't always felt worthy. For
Mm.
sure, I have not always felt worthy, but people have inspired me. The spotlight has inspired me to be as worthy as I could in the best way possible, you know?
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
That kind of goes to the other thing that we were talking about, which is if like when I was asking if you've always been supported in your creative endeavors, and I guess those kind of go hand in hand. Like what, feeling worthy of spotlight, but also like have you received the support that would validate you to feel like,
Yeah.
you're worthy of the spotlight? Like, did you feel like I guess any external factors like family or friends or even finance, like has any of that ever made it difficult for you to pursue your dreams?
Yes. Yes. I guess from people here that are watching, they probably don't know my background, but I
Yeah,
didn't grow
please
up.
share.
Um, so I had a lot of, I guess, roadblocks to overcome. When you're not in the industry and you try to get into the industry, as anybody who's ever tried, and I'm sure
Hmm.
like you still feel this way, and your mom, I'm sure she could have millions of stories about this,
Yeah.
but it's impossible. Like you don't know where to knock. People will tell you the right way to go, but they don't know as well. So their support kind of means something, but also at the same time, it's like they just think they know where to go, and their path may not be right for you.
Hmm.
Um, and growing up Asian American, I didn't have the best. I'm just gonna be honest. I love my parents, but when it comes to a career, they would rather me pursue academia, and I was like this close to getting my degree for architecture, and then I dropped out to go for acting.
This is what I mean.
So then they were like, "Bro, yo, you could have been an architect, and instead you're doing this stable job, unstable job." And so,
And what about it, right? Here we are.
yeah, so it's a scary thing at first because it's like you don't have that support. But I've been very blessed. My brother, he for those of you guys who are in the chat, my brother is also a Power Ranger. He booked Power Rangers the season before me, and during that time, I was not living at home. I was trying to stay financially stable. This was 2010-ish. This was like during the time when minimum wage was $7.50, I think, and it was not easy to earn a living.
Hmm.
My brother supported me while he was in Power Rangers financially completely so that I could chase my dreams. So
It's amazing.
it's nuts, dude. That guy is, he literally, I would
Wow.
without him because he literally paid for every for a year and a half so that I could stay out in LA. And during
Mhm.
that time, I booked two pilots and eventually booked Power Rangers.
That
So
must have been such a gratifying feeling, like, because it already feels amazing when you book something or when you go far in the process. But then to have like booked
somebody
it,
believed,
kind of feeling like,
yeah,
hey, like I proved myself to you, like I'm doing
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's an amazing, amazing thing, and it's the support of people that care about you really goes a long way. And
Hmm.
I mean, I already feel it even like with my singing. I've been singing a lot more. Part of it was I still hear like your voice in the back of my head. I'm like, oh man, you actually support. And then
This
when
is the first time I'm hearing this, by the way, on live stream, and that means a lot to me. That's so special.
you just never know where your words can go. Like if you actually mean what you say and you actually have good energy, it can change a person's life. Actually,
It's
you know,
true. I mean, I feel the same way about other people that have just impacted me in ways that they probably can't even imagine. And it's just being genuine and being kind and
real human connection, man. Real
yeah,
human
exactly.
people who
Real
care.
human connection. People who are just genuine, it's like when you say things that you mean and not, say things for the purpose of pleasing somebody. Because I feel like also when you're receiving, when you're receiving somebody's words, like you hearing me say that I felt like you're a really great singer, like you should pursue it. You can tell when somebody's coming from a place of,
Genuine
um,
love.
yeah, of like a real, real genuine words versus just saying something for the sake of saying it.
And to go back to the question too, it's like that's why I think that what you're doing is so necessary. Right now, what we're doing is we're building up everybody who's in the chat right now. Everyone here is the community. This is the support. This is the support for me,
Mhm.
for Bella. So guys, thank you so much for supporting us. You guys are our community that we are leaning on. Truly,
Yeah, no,
truly.
absolutely. Which is, I love that you said that because that's all what we've been talking about is like, hey, do you feel worthy? Do you have support? And now we're talking to this really great group of people that are like here to listen to what we have to say. And well, actually, now that you said that, I want to see if I want to read questions. I'm going to go back and see what people have asked, and if you see any questions that you're interested in answering. I
Yeah.
pinned a comment that I saw. Um, this girl said imposter syndrome is too real. I'm a woman in tech and I definitely struggle with it. And that was when you were talking about feeling worthy of being in the spotlight. And I thought that was interesting because also being a woman in male dominated fields is definitely very intimidating. And so I thought that
Well,
was
it
an
was
interesting way in.
Yeah, that's you literally got put into a position where you were that. You were in a male dominated industry, but also you had to step into a position of power at such a young age. How was that for you?
Oh, well, you know what? I think that I'm not going to say it was like easier in any regard, but I think it was, I think it felt more natural just because I've been in the industry since I was 7. So I've been in the industry at a very young age. And I think
Uh,
that
Your
what
confidence
happened?
is so inspiring. Sorry, no, 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 no.
Oh,
Go off. But like when you said that, I felt your confidence in the best way possible, and I think that
thank you.
true confidence is it's just really inspiring to see. It's something that we could all.
Oh, thank you so much. No, I think that because I was fortunate to like work from a young age, I think that, when you're little, you're like a sponge. You absorb everything around you. And I think that I was fortunate to receive validation and support at a very young age to where now being 20, I can go, I may receive backlash, I may receive rejection, I may receive whatever. We all have our struggles no matter
Yeah.
where you're at and what level you're at. But I'm fortunate to have grown up with like a lot of support and this really great system around me so that I can kind of, I think maybe easier than others, sort of shut that out and go, no, you're on a path. You're doing what you love to do. The people
Yeah.
around you that love you, like the people that are the most important, are here to support you. So,
Yeah.
I think that that's huge. That's leverage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But somebody said, that this is giving them the opportunity to leave their comfort zone, which makes me feel really happy.
That's exactly
Um,
what you to do.
right, like jump out, right? And then somebody else said, being in the spotlight has been very great for me, getting to have a platform and so many people caring for me, but at the same time, I can see how it is very difficult.
It is.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask you as well, to add on to my question about the whole thing. It's, did you feel any responsibility like that came on with it? You know, being in that intense spotlight of young Supergirl. Did you feel any responsibility to, yeah,
I mean, yes, you know, I did, but at the same time, like, which is what we were just talking about, you have to at a point sort of let that go and trust yourself and go, there's a reason why I'm here. It's that feeling worthy. It's like, there's a reason why I've been chosen to do this, to fulfill this role. Same as you being cast as Kenny. It's like, I'm sure anytime as an actor that you go on set, there's a sense of like, what am I doing here?
yeah, yeah, always.
Right? But I mean, how do you find yourself overcoming that sort of, what am I doing here? Am I worthy of being here? Like, how do you find yourself, moving past that?
Yeah, yeah. That's just something that you just gotta like breathe and just trust that you are already in the right place, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, that's kind of all you can do, right? Just breathe and go, well,
Yeah.
I'm here for a reason.
Did you feel like you had to be something else? Like, one of the things that I've noticed, at least with a lot of the actors who get into the spotlight of being a role model, do you feel pressure to be somebody that you're not, to fulfill some sort of standard that they may think of you,
Um,
to be like the perfect Supergirl, you know, like the perfect young girl's hero or the perfect young boy's hero?
yeah, I mean, I think I just saw this, I just saw this question in the comments. Somebody asked, are you a perfectionist? And, to what you're saying, 3000%. Like, I think there's always a sense of, well, I could have done that better. What if I didn't please everybody? Like, what if
You know,
not everybody was satisfied? No,
yeah,
no.
so much. No, I mean that in the best way. I really, because sorry, this is gonna sound random and go a little bit off tangent, but man, that really inspires me. I feel like a lot of people in your, at least from what I'm seeing, in your position has gone to take their responsibility and throw it out the window and say, like, I'm not a perfect person, which is perfectly great. We are not. Nobody expects us to be perfect people. But you were probably the first person that I have asked that question to that actually went the opposite way and said, there's always more we could be doing. As opposed to saying, hey, I'm not a perfect person. Don't put the spotlight on me. You're saying, what can I do to be better? I hella respect that. I do.
Oh, I feel like that's what I'm getting from you this whole conversation is like there's always a sense of what else could I be doing?
Yeah.
And I feel like working with you, that's what was so inspiring is like you were like, yeah, I'm an actor, but I'm also bettering myself in other creative ways. Like I'm learning how to sing and it scares me, but I'm doing it and I'm dancing and this and that. And like you weren't afraid to, when I said, hey, sing for me, or hey, show me like some dance moves, like you would just do it, even though it's not something that
I
you
was,
feel 100% confident about. And I think that that's like what it's all about is just going, all right, like I
not
might
fun.
not be perfect, but
Yeah, well, I'm reading the comments. Somebody just said, "Can being a perfectionist make it difficult and diminish your confidence?" That's what I actually wanted to highlight. Is like, you have a really good balance of knowing to not take the pressure personally, but still striving towards. Because that is what he's trying to say, I guess. Is like, because if you do, I find that it does diminish my own confidence sometimes. Being a
uh-huh.
perfectionist, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
a shoot, I didn't do this. I could have done something better. And it does take a blow. And I
Yeah.
think the reason why I highlighted that was I could see the moxie from your mom that she put into your, into your own work ethic to be like, yeah, I could have done better, but there's not a lot I can do now. What can I do about it now?
What can I do about it next time? Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
that's
Thank
experience.
you. We're trying, we're growing, right? There's always ways to grow, I think.
Yeah,
But I think like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the key is like in the process of growing to go, I am here for a reason and I'm worthy of making mistakes, but also like having people respect what I have done right. You know?
Heck yeah, heck
That's
yeah.
right. I love that. Yeah, absolutely. Um, I'm seeing so many like awesome comments. I'm like, oh, they're all passing me by. I mean, there's a lot of love. Thank you all so much. Somebody did ask, how do you guys get over your fears, like on stage or in real life? Um, and
You
also,
wanna?
what was the hardest lesson that you learned in your field? I feel like they're two separate questions, but I feel like they go together. Um, okay. Well, I'm gonna reuse something that I said. I don't know if I told you this, Peter, but I said this in last week's live with with Olivia, and somebody asked me, how do you get over like stage fright? And I said that when I was younger, my mom, when I used to tell her that I have butterflies in my stomach, she would tell me, oh, like that's great. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, that's great because the butterflies are going to fly you into the performance. And I
Yo,
thought that was the cutest thing ever. And I want to share it again because I don't know if everybody heard that last week.
yo, dude, your mom is such a wise. You can tell from the things that you say. But
Oh,
yeah, I believe that because I think the same thing too. Same, 100% the same thing. If you feel fear, that means you're
hmm,
excited. That means you're alive. You know.
yes.
And what could go wrong?
What?
Truly,
Well,
I, I yeah, you're right. You're right. A
I
lot.
don't know. Lots can, but I don't ask myself that question. I don't
Yeah,
ask myself what can go wrong. I'm just like, let's just go for the ride.
yeah,
Fingers crossed.
yeah. No, I have a very gung ho personality of like, well, if it does go bad, you could always laugh at it. There's always a laughable thing in every situation.
Yes. No, no, absolutely. I mean, it's a good story in like 5 years,
Yeah, yeah.
right? I feel like that's everything negative that's ever happened to me. I'm like, 5 years later, I'm like, this is kind of funny. Like I can
Yeah,
tell this at like dinner parties and stuff.
this will be a good
Um,
story someday.
right, but it always takes about 5 years for it to be funny, like specifically that
5 years of
timeline.
pain.
Right, just painful memory to go,
Yeah.
you know what? This is kind of funny. I'm gonna see. I want to see if there's any like last one or two questions that I want to ask you. Let's see. Oh, I see the question that you saw. Lots of love for you, Peter. Um,
Thank
let's
you.
see. Lots of love, lots of love. I love seeing all these comments. They make me happy. They make me feel like this is very communal.
Oh, this is a good one. What
Uh-huh.
do you want to bring in our society?
What was the question? You broke up.
It's the question is, what kind of a change do you want to bring in our society? That is a
That is
deep.
a good question. I'm going to throw that on to you because this is my Q&A, Peter.
Uh, um, I would, I'm, I would like to see the change that we are doing progress. That's all that it is. I don't want to make anything crazy, but
Hmm.
you can already see it in what we're doing now. Like everybody who's in the chat, you guys are watching a female lead and an Asian male lead. This is something that is completely wild and different. Like this is not
Yeah,
something that you see very often, but we are here, and
doing
hopefully
it.
we keep going. That's
Yes.
my is that I pray that we do this right so that we can inspire people the right way. You know.
I love that. It's not about like jumping and making large leaps and big strokes. It's like, hey, let's just get on alive and do something
Yeah.
that might not be super conventional and talk to 70 people or 100 people or 200 people or however many and just
Well,
make a little difference here and there.
a little difference. Every little wave makes a difference. So thank you guys.
Absolutely.
You guys are all
Yes.
change as well.
Yeah, well, thank you. I like ending it on that note. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining our live stream, everybody. This has been wonderful, and thank you, Peter, so much for being here.
Of
And
course.
everybody, feel free to follow this account, Almost Normal Productions, because we cover topics like these every single day. So you'll see a lot of posts from me, written by me, but also updates on our upcoming horror movie, The
Hey.
Accursed, which I'm starring in as well. So that's a little plug. And yeah, I'll see you in the next weekly Q&A next Wednesday. So Thank you, Peter, again. And
Bye.
I'm sending you all my love. Mwah.
Bye, Bella. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.